maybe before we even start, I was just kind of noticing, like, at Mind Body Solutions, there's a lot of yoga classes that are offered. And I feel like when we do meditation, it's not like, oh, we don't do yoga. That there really is an aspect of just the very basic awareness of the body. And I say basic, but like a lot happens when you bring your awareness to the body and you see how you're holding yourself, the shape of the body has an impact on your meditation practice and experience. So let's just kind of keep that in mind, like, oh, how could I be kind of playing with this idea like I'm doing yoga when I'm meditating? We don't want to forget that there's a body, and like as if meditation was all about like what's happening in your mind. And we really do generate that feeling of, hey, it's an energetic feeling in your body, like I'm here, I'm upright and interested. And so bear that in mind. How could I, well, guess what? You're in a pose, you're in some kind of physical posture, right? So yoga just says, be aware of your physical posture. Position yourself where the breath can really flow fully, completely through. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and begin. So now I am going to just mute everyone. And you could start by just taking a few deeper breaths. That deeper breath can help to really feel inside. And then taking in the sound of the bell. The bell calling you here. So rather than our awareness kind of flowing out, into the world, kind of everyone else, that we let go of that and we turn awareness inward. Just getting curious, like, well, what is happening today? There's kind of a right effort. This is a good description, right effort. So however you're positioning your body, there's no strain. There's a little effort maybe, but no strain. And it is kind of subtle, but maybe even just your throat softening and relaxing. I really want to know now, like, what all is happening today? Physically, how do you feel? Clearly you have just some measure of health that you were able to attend this class. That could be just a sense of gratitude. And what all is kind of weighing on your heart mind. Just feeling what is happening today. And then noticing, like, oh, you're breathing. And you could feel like the earth, this feeling of grounding, whatever's kind of touching the earth is like, ah, feel grounded. And even the sense of your whole body, how you stop. You know, when we do this work, we really do a full stop. What does that feel like, stopping? Almost like you can feel the velocity, the speed that we normally move at. A constant go, go, wanting, wanting. Ooh, what does that feel like? And I'm just going to put that down right now. I'm not chasing after anything. I'm not looking up something on the internet. Feels good to let that go. And you know, you might even imagine somewhere peaceful, and you can bring in a imagery. Be somewhere simple. It can take some time for this to settle, or for the words and the thinking to start to calm down. We have a patient feeling. Now study for yourself. Does it help when you bring awareness to a certain area in your body? Like, be aware of your throat. Feel your throat soften, calm, quiet. Or be aware of your forehead. When the forehead softens, this is how we just open up to the way that things are right now. Letting go of all the ways we try to make things better. Maybe feeling again that kind of the yoga of doing this. Like, oh, breathe, feel your whole body opening up. And that can even take like some imagination, right? Of this being in the body, this unseen area. Relaxed quality. Like I'm still practicing putting things down. Oh, the mind wants to think. It loves thinking. So knowing, like I'm just putting that down. Whatever is happening today, like we all experience different types of pain or suffering. And we can be aware of that without needing to dislike it, like just putting it down. We're more thoroughly being with things just as they are. Like, what does it feel like to put down complaining? Completely free. And finally, just we did this last week a little bit, is mindfulness of the in-breath and the out-breath. So all this is going to be right now is a slightly longer breath. Both the inhales a little deeper, longer, and the exhale, even just a little bit, like putting forth the effort to deepen your breath. And just see what happens when you do this. Think of it like it's like a deeper wave moving through the body as you're breathing. But make sure like it doesn't lead to stress or discomfort. It's like, oh, I'm just feeling the breath. Like even like your lungs kind of open up, a little more fluffy, and they squeeze, kind of working your lungs a little bit. Make sure that your skin, like your face, is really soft here. That feeling like free of tension, soft skin. Might take like a couple more deeper, longer breaths. But then let this transition where the breath is then shorter. You let go of any effort And when you let go of kind of doing the breath, then it's really involuntary breathing. Like, wow, I just kind of keep breathing. Breath is shorter. It's good to notice just how even that brief meditation, how like it really only works when you put forth some effort to do it, you know? Because like I can give you instructions, but then you like really do it, you know? And so we have the teachings and then we have the practice of it. And of course, you know, everyone's gonna kind of experience it differently. Sometimes it might feel like, oh, that's easy, I like that. And then other times it's like, oh my word, this just isn't happening today, you know, or why is this so hard? You know, the instructions sound so, it just sounds so lovely, you know, like I'm just gonna put everything down. And then you go to do it and like, oh my word, I'm so distracted. I can't, yeah. I mean, this is a really common experience. But here's the ongoing instruction is that mindfulness just notices like, oh, wow, I'm really caught in distraction right now, you know, and just like, oh, you know, you can be lighthearted around it, like, what's really going on today? Well, I'm just going to keep practicing, and then you just kind of do it again and again and again. There's generally a lot of repetition before even the smallest kind of relaxation sets in. And now, sometimes, and maybe you notice this when I teach, is I'm often working with what is called the restless personality, and that's someone who's just like distracted, like the mind is overly active. Now, you might have the personality that's more, instead of restless, that you're dealing with sleepiness or dullness. Oh, I got a little thumbs up balloon. So just get to know yourself. When I start guiding a meditation, that you might be like, oh, this feels like, this feels so good, you know, like, oh. But clearly, you know, if the mind just checks out and it's dull and, you know, that is, you know, we're really not going to experience a decrease of tension necessarily if we just check out. So we are then generating a balanced quality here. Why, you know, how we'll often say there's an uprightness, a brightness, and then a relaxed calm. And we're constantly playing with those and getting to know yourself, both the kind of a physical feeling, a mental energy feeling. Yeah, how can I, with great patience, work at bringing myself to balance? So I can feel like your skin stay really soft and relaxed, and just here in kind of that bright, interested feeling. So I'm going to share, this is one phrase. I like how sometimes these teachings you can just hand one little phrase and work with it. And this I remember from many, many, many years ago. I'm actually at Common Ground Meditation Center right now. And this center used to be at Mark Nunberg's home. That's where it all started. And I can remember being there, and he gave this one teaching, said to be, you know, like a direct kind of teaching of the Buddha. He said that the heart mind, and so they use this word chitta, which means heart mind. They don't really separate the two. It's like they're always linked together, heart mind. And the phrase says the heart mind is naturally radiant and pure. It's just momentarily obscured by the defilements. So, the defilements, what are they? These defilements, I know Jenny and I have mentioned them, are greed, anger or hatred, and delusion. So delusion is when you're not even really here, is when the mind is deluded. It's like, yeah, whether it's a distraction or just not seeing things clearly, caught up in a certain opinion, you know, of how things are, and, you know, I'm just not a patient person, so, you know, that's delusion. If you've just said, like, that's how I am. And then aversion, or, sometimes it's called aversion or hatred, even anger, is when, like, no, I don't want things to be this way. And we push things away. Like if your mind is thinking a lot, you might know, like you get angry about that. So that's called one of the defilements that comes in. I don't like this. I'm a bad meditator. And then the first one was like greed and wanting. I want something. Sometimes that can come in if you actually find a peaceful place and you want it to stay. So what's interesting too, I love how the phrase says that they're momentary defilements. I mean, with anger, like, or, you know, that I don't like this feeling, it will rise and pass. Like generally, you know, all of these qualities will come in and they'll pass. And then maybe another defilement comes in. So they're momentary though. When you really pay attention and watch, you'll notice it like ebbs and flows, you know. So we understand that. So if the heart mind is very naturally radiant and pure, you know, meaning that it can just be with the way things are. It really describes just what we're cultivating here. We watch one of the defilements come in, and that's why formal practice like this is so important, because we can actually see it come in. Like, oh, here it comes. There might be very familiar defilements that come in. Disinterest, part of delusion is like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is really going to work. I'll just sit here and just think my same old thoughts. I'll appear like I'm meditating. It's easy to appear like you're meditating, right? We know that. In fact, whether you're really in a deep state of calm or if you're really caught up in some thinking, you can really look similar. So what would this be like, this knowing, like that the heart mind is radiant and pure? It doesn't need things to really be different than they are. We don't need to wrestle with kind of the truth. We don't need to wrestle with reality. It's just saying, this is what's really happening right now. Let's open to it. So let's practice with this. I'll give a little guidance and seeing how things are and how they're temporary. So finding your yoga pose. Just aware of your body, and everyone's body is so different of what works today. That just right level of effort. And you might take some deeper breaths here just to feel like, yep, I'm going to do this work. So there's a stilling, we come to stillness. And gradually but there's kind of a strength or a little bit of zeal. Oh, I'm going to do the work that results in peace, being at peace, a feeling in the body of being at peace. And even sometimes there's a glimpse of, the heart mind is just radiant and pure. We know that there is like a felt sense of wisdom. What would wisdom feel like? Heart, mind, radiant. You could even imagine like a kind of a glow around the heart. And just watching. Well, what happens here? So if you notice, like, well, right now, and maybe there's a pain in your body. Oh, can I be with that? It can be just free of liking or disliking, and this removes like any tension or stress. If you experience pain, maybe a really strong feeling of not liking it. But can that dissipate? Can we decrease the disliking, the aversion, and just be radiant and pure? What comes up in your mind? What story transports you to the past or to the future? And you just watch that happen. Here I go. And what does it feel like when you let go of that distraction and come back? You might take a little deeper breath and go, here. Could even use the word here. And the practice staying here. It's a special kind of muscle that we use. Come back. Staying in real time. Calm your whole body. You might imagine around the heart space, there is a sense of space, kind of radiance. It's kind of a freedom, like I don't need to like or dislike anything. I'm just going to be with things just as they are. Move awareness is closer and closer to your body. Soft throat. Notice what's happening right now. Your attitude, and how you can always start over, like completely clear the slate and like, okay, inhale, aware, feel, sense. Exhale. Let this breath kind of almost like a sweeping away defilements, kind of revealing this radiant heart. Breathe as deeply as you need to. It is one breath at a time. This inhale, clear. This exhale, clear and radiant. So you're just focused on that. This moment of inhale and this moment of exhale. And it matters how you're relating to this moment of being alive. A lot can happen during the inhale. Well, you can let go of a lot in the length of one inhale. You can let go of a lot on the length of one exhale. Or with these two energetic qualities, on the inhale, you could bring in this energy. Imagine soaking in this energy. And the exhale is the letting go of any defilement, any distraction. Space around your throat and your mouth, and feel your airways open up. So at the end of class, it's, it's just good to recognize, like, yeah, doing this work, it is just that, it's work, and to kind of notice how important it is to have a compassionate quality and be kind while you're attempting to do this, right? And it can help us really stay sensitive kind of to everyone, just how important it is to have like a understanding and kind way, because we know that there's just like a lot of difficulty in life. So wouldn't it make sense to approach everyone with a kindness? So thank you so much for being here and doing this work. Really, the world thanks you.